am Gunti Ghimiri, Deji School. Now I am presenting a tutorial video class. In my previous tutorial video class, I taught about the skilled manpower, or let's say human resource development on the basis of skill. Today I am explaining the human resources on the basis of TOM. TOM, human resource development on the basis of TOM. Short-term human resource and long-term human resource. On the basis of TOM, there are two types of human resources. One is a short-term human resource, next one is a long-term human resource. Short-term human resource is produced in a short period of time, in a short investment. Short human resource is generally produced and prepared targeting to the immediate need of the situation, immediate need of the country. You know that in the time of election of a federal parliament, election of a province parliament, or election of local body, we need a big number of security forces. The voters must be provided free and fearless environment in the election, and for this government and the election commission need to mobilize a big number of security force. So targeting to this situation, looking to this condition, the government, in the case of election, the election commission manages, recruits and appoints the temporary police force, and then after the task is over, after the election is over, such force is, or we can say, the temporary security force gets terminated after the election is over. This sort of force is called a short-term manpower or short-term workforce. Similarly, in every 10 years, Nepal takes population census, and to take population census, a big number of workers are needed, census takers. In English, they are called enumerators, enumerators. A country needs a big number of people, big number of workers to collect the data regarding population, and then such manpower prepared in a short period is called enumerators. They are called census takers. It can take months to complete the task of the campaign of taking population census, and while taking population census, other different indicators are also noticed and recorded. Manpower produced and provided targeting to this census is also a short-term manpower, and they also get terminated after the campaign is over. So this way, I give you example regarding short-term manpower. And one more thing, this is especially on the basis of TOM, a very short period. This manpower is provided for the short period. So this is short-term manpower. Next one, the driver or the electricians or the plumbers, such manpower is also prepared in a short period of time, in a short investment, and this manpower is also called short-term manpower. So then, on the basis of TOM, if the manpower is produced, and if the manpower is produced looking to the immediate demand or immediate situation to address the immediate need of the country, then such manpower is called short-term manpower. Next manpower is called long-term manpower. It takes a long time to prepare a long-term manpower. Doctors, engineers, pilots, teachers, similarly planners, bureaucrats, they cannot be prepared overnight. It takes a very long time and big investment is also needed. So on this base, the manpower produced with the heavy investment and by rendering a long period of time, such manpower is called long-term manpower. Such manpower once appointed work not less than 15-20 years in their profession, in their job. We can take example of police force or military force. Once police force, a person is recruited in the police force or military force, he works for not less than 20-25 years in the force. So this is a long-term human resource. And again, in the case of teachers or doctors, even after the retirement from their particular job, regular job, they can continue their service, or let's say their expertise don't die. Teachers' expertise do not die even after the retirement from his or her job, or a doctor's expertise also do not die. Okay. So this way, they are not only long-term human resource; they can also be termed to be a constant human resource. Such expertise can be useful for the society and for the people until the death of the experts. The experts' expertise, they never get retired. So according to the law, according to the condition of the nation, people work in their post and position up to the particular age or up to the particular period of time. This is as mentioned or as provided by the law of the nation. But even after the retirement of the particular or regular work of certain types of people, experts, their expertise don't die, and they can use this expertise for the society until the last. Such people are called a constant human resource. Generally, two sorts of human resource, short term and long term. In the long term, I gave you example of some certain sorts of manpower who can render their services until the last of their life. Such people are called constant human resources. So I explained the human resources on the basis of steel first, and now I am explaining, I have, let's say, completed explaining the manpower on the basis of term. After this, I am now showing the relationship between the human and the natural resources. Now, the next topic is relationship between the human resources and the natural resources. Human resource, human being is the supreme creature of this world among all the living creatures. Human being is very conscious and very wise. Human being is worried not only about the present, but human being is worried about the future too. We are worried for our future generation, and then we have been using the natural resources for our benefits, for our comforts, for our survival. Without using natural resources, we cannot survive. Nature has provided us so many things. Some of the natural resources, for example, water and air, we can use them directly. Some forest products also can be used directly without purifying them. Oxygen we have been taking, we don't need to purify it. In its natural form, we use it and we survive. So natural resources are the must for our survival. In the absence of natural resources, we cannot imagine our life and our existence. Similarly, other creatures also cannot survive without the natural resources. So natural resources, most of the natural resources are used by the human being. There are so many natural resources and mineral resources which are used by the human being for their betterment. And to use such resources, we have to purify them, we have to process them, and we have to use the technology, and then finally we use them. One example is the petroleum product is found in the crude form. Petroleum product. We know that diesel, petrol, kerosene, they are found in mine, so they are called mineral, and then these minerals are found in the crude form, raw form. They cannot be used directly in our motor vehicles. Before bringing them to use, we have to purify, we have to refine them, and finally they become suitable to use. And then such resources, natural resources or mineral resources, which are used only after processing them or only after the refining them. For this we need to use technology. Without the help of the technology, we neither refine them nor we process them, and they become useless for us. So technology is the result of the human brain. Human being is such creature that has learned to use technology. Probably this is the only creature that uses technology in its life. And human being, with the use of the technology, uses so many natural resources, changing their form. Human being uses technology, and by using technology, we use the resources for our comfort, for our need. We have been using them. We use resources and we enrich our civilization. Human civilization is made very rich by the human being, and human being has made its civilization very rich by using the resources. Let's say the developed nations in the world, they are developed because they have been able to use the resources properly. The nations which are very poor, or the nations which are developing, they are poor or they are developing, they are least developed because they have not been able to use and utilize the resources. Nepal is regarded to be very rich country in resources, various resources. Water resources, we are very rich, and we are very rich in forest resources, we are very rich in wildlife, we are rich probably in mineral resources also. But we have not been able to extract all the minerals, and we have not been able to use all the resources properly. Our rivers can be used to generate hydroelectricity. We can use the water of the river for irrigation and so many other purposes, but we have not been able to use them properly. So that if we are unable to use the resources properly, we cannot improve our economy. So we cannot become economically prosperous, we cannot become rich without using the resources. All the European nations, they are very developed because they have been able to use the resources properly. In the past, during the time of Industrial Revolution, European nations used two major mineral resources for the development of Europe. One is coal and next one is iron ore. With the help of the iron ore and the coal, European countries started to open the door of the development. Railway transportation got developed this period, and then bigger industries were operated with the help of this thermal energy produced from coal, and even the gold was refined by the coal. So people used to say black gold for the coal. Instead of saying coal, they used to say black gold, because they realized the importance of coal, and without coal the development of Europe would never be possible. This is only I am giving example because if we are unable to use the natural resources, we can never upgrade our living standard, we can never make our economy rich, and we can never compete with the other nations in the development. There is no another alternate of using the resources. We have to be able to use the resources, but while using the resources, we have to be very wise. We must not use the resources randomly. We have to protect them, we have to preserve them, we have to promote them, and we have to use them. We have to protect them so that future generation also will be able to use the resources properly. We have to see the future also, and we have to see the environmental aspects also. For all these things, natural resources and human resources, they are very important. They are two sides of the same coin. In the absence of one, the another one is in fact meaningless, incomplete. If there is a very proper combination between human resource and the mineral resource in any nation, such nation can march onward in the path of development. A country very rich in resources alone cannot march in the path of development. We are very rich in water resources, we know that, but at the same time we know that we cannot generate electricity by dipping the wires in the rivers. To generate electricity we have to use the technology, and technology is always very expensive. So a nation must be economically very rich, it is economic resource, economically a country must be rich. A country which is rich in economic sector can enrich its technological sector also, and it can enrich its human resources also. So then, if a country is rich economically, if the country is rich technologically, and if the country is rich with the different sorts of human resources, such country can march onward in the path of development. We cannot make progress, or we cannot see the prosperity of country in the absence of the natural resources, or progress and prosperity is never possible in the absence of resources, but resources must be used very wisely, and then we must protect, preserve and use them, and then the betterment lies in this. This is the relation between the human resource and the natural resources. Okay, after this, another subtopic is HRM and HRD. Human resource management and human resource development. Human resource is the must. A nation has to develop human resource. Without developing human resource, country's progress and prosperity is not possible. Backbone of the country's development is its citizen. And if the people are trained, well educated, such people can contribute from their side for the development of the country. Now, first of all, let me talk about this human resource development. Human resource development deals about the vast areas of training and development of the personality of the workers in any organization, in any institution. The organizations or the institutions, they become successful, they become competent if the workers, or let's say employees working there are hardworking, laborious, skillful and wise. This HRD, human resource development, deals about a vast area of training and development. Development in the skill, development in the language, development in the technology. Technology is changing and development is taking place each day. New technologies are being installed and used in all sectors. Today, e-banking service is provided. There is the concept of e-governance and smart classes in the school. If the workers in the institution, if the workers in the organization, if they do not cope with the changing technology, then such institution, such organization can never compete and can never give good result. So that development of human resource or human resource development must be the concern of the state first. Then it must be the concern of the organizations which give employment to the big number of people, and then the institutions, schools and so on. According to the change in time and situation, the people, the employees working in different sectors, they must be made acquainted, they must be made familiar, and then they can give a better output, better result. This comes under human resource development. Next one is human resource management. The human resource developed this way must be managed properly. You must have heard, right man in the right place. If a mathematics teacher is given the subject mathematics to teach in the classroom, he can perform better than the other teachers. I have been teaching now social studies, and if I am given by the authority to teach science, I may not do better, I may not perform good. So, right man must be given the right responsibilities, right man must be appointed in the right place, so that there is possibility of better result. And then, in any organization, the success of organization, the better result in any organization is not possible without the sincere contribution and sincere effort given by the workers, the employers. When there are so many people working in any organization or any institution, it's likely that sometimes people conflict for smaller issues, and smaller issues sometimes become bigger issues, and people seize even communication, seizing communication for the smaller issues. Smaller issues can give a bigger noise sometimes. So administration, the authority must be able to resolve the conflicts if there is among the employers or employees and employer, among the authority and the workers. If such situation is there, it affects adversely in the output of any industry, factory, organization or institution, so that one most important part of human resource management is resolving conflict. There can be conflict. Conflict must be resolved in such a way that both the conflicting parties feel that they both have own that adverse situation, win-win situation we say. And then next thing is there must be very good communication with the authority and the workers, employee and employers. If there is good communication between these two, authority and the employers, there a harmony develops there. When harmony is there, the organization or institutions, they can definitely bring better results, and the workers, they get encouraged to do better. And next thing is, the employees must be given rewards for their good works. The employees must be given incentives for their good works, and the employees must be given bonus for their better works. That boosts the morale in the workers, and ultimately it gives a bit good benefits to the organization, to the institution. And come upon human resource management. First of all, we have to develop the human resource, and human resource developed by training, by seminar, by education, or by so many other things. Such manpower must be managed properly in any institution, and if there is a very good combination between human resource management and human resource development processes, then an organization can get a better result. This way, I explain in a short about human resource development and human resource management. In my next class, tutorial class, I will come with Human Development Index. So hope to come to you very soon. Until then, goodbye.